life in general. Hope everybody's doing well. Um, I don't know if you've been kind of feeling it or you've been kind of noticing yourself just really kind of just like scaling back on various different expenses and kind of refocusing like, man, like I really need to put money off to the side for this or that or whatever. And I feel and I think a lot of people are feeling like they just need to spend out of necessity. Just really what you really need. Not all your wants, but you know, you're not necessarily just overspending on various different things. And you gotta think about it. Christmas is right around the corner, and in previous years, some people just usually go all out. You know, I had a person say that they're not going to be putting up their lights this year, and they were like one of the people that were on the block that was like the most festive, and they had this whole light show, and just for the simple fact that because the price of things have been going up, they're not going to put their light show on this year because that I imagine that the light bill is going to be significantly higher, and they definitely don't want to have to pay some big light bill that they cannot afford, and that's unfortunate. If you're one of those festive people, leave a comment down below, man. Are you thinking about putting those lights up this year? Do you feel like that you can kind of like pay that electric bill in January? But that's kind of unfortunate because that kind of leads to like all that holiday spirit, that holiday cheer, and all these different things are just kind of playing factors in just doing stuff out of necessity and just kind of scaling back, cutting back, and just realizing, okay, I'm overspending here. I'm far from like a financial guru or anything. I don't want y'all to like be like, yo man, he like a financial guru, but I'm just making y'all think, opening y'all mind up to like these different things that be around us, and all these things that's been happening, but it's serious, man. I'm in retail, and for sure, man, I've been noticing like a lot of people just kind of just scaling back, and I never thought that technology would make technology go up. And if I don't know if you were like kind of in like the tech space, with computer parts or building computers and what have you, like AI is actually making prices of RAM go up, and the RAM is pretty much a part of your computer, and it helps with all the resources and all that. But that's neither here or there. But like AI is making pricing go up, and if you're kind of familiar with what I'm talking about, leave a comment down below. But it's insane, and I think a lot of people are really just cutting back. Even some of my co-workers, when they got a perfectly running car outside, and they're scaling back on DoorDash, and some people have cut their DoorDash passes off because for the simple fact that man, it's just another extra expense on top of whatever else they're paying. So it's a crazy world, when it comes to like money and resources and finances, and these are the things that we kind of figure out as we're getting older. If you're younger and you just kind of really just like, okay, I'm gonna have to tighten up on this thing. I may have to do things the old-fashioned way, where I have to get some ground turkey or get some lunch meat and make a couple sandwiches. It sounds cliche, but it's cheaper. You come out cheaper. But but if you got it like that, then it's just that's just what it is. But I just thought I'd just put this on your mind. Am I crazy? If everything I'm saying makes sense, But you know, it's real. It's real, and it's things that we actually just think about. You know, at least you know I know a lot of you probably do. You know, I don't feel like I'm like alone on this whole subject, but yeah, it's really serious out here. But all right, y'all, I appreciate y'all tuning in to what I got to say. If you like this type of content, subscribe. If not, it's okay. I appreciate the view. I appreciate you stopping through, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.